What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Brock Purdy, the 49ers, and how some of the hate has kind of got a little too far with Brock Purdy. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, as it does help out the channel a ton, and enjoy the video. I decided to make a video talking about Kyle Shanahan, the San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy, because I believe there has been some unnecessary criticism, more so on Brock Purdy's end. Now, when we talk about ranking quarterbacks, ranking players in the NFL and any professional sports, it's really tough because the margin of gap is not usually that big. You know, a guy could be 5, he could also be 8 on a lot of people's list. But Brock Purdy, what were we saying before the playoffs with Brock Purdy? Some of us were questioning if the San Francisco 49ers can do it with Brock Purdy, if they can go to the Super Bowl and win it. And they did put themselves in position to win it. I think that's something that they have to be proud of. I think Brock Purdy is a good enough quarterback for this football team. I think they can win the Super Bowl with him. Now, I'm not personally a guy that believes that Brock Purdy's a top 5 quarterback, that he's this MVP candidate going into every single year. And I just think Brock Purdy, potentially a top 10 quarterback. Now, when I talk about top 10, I'm not talking about like 7. I think if he is top 10, he's around 8, 9, 10-ish, maybe around 11, 12, 13. That's probably the range. But this guy, Brock Purdy, I'm going into this game, and I know some people have some big narratives against Brock Purdy, but I kind of just zoned out those narratives, especially in this playoffs. I just wanted to see how Brock Purdy plays, and he could be a winner. Not every quarterback is putting up these crazy numbers. He could just be a winning type of quarterback, that underdog mentality that he has. Grand scheme of things, when we talk about Brock Purdy, the San Francisco 49ers, the reason why there was some hate and criticism was because the whole season, people were really praising him very highly, and some people were just completely trashing him. And I don't think either or is kind of fair, because the people that are praising him, calling him a top 5 quarterback, I don't know if he was ever really that. I mean, he played some good ball during the regular season. But I think there's this misconception in NFL fan bases that if you're not a top 5 guy, you're not a good quarterback. That's what it kind of seems like. And I'm sure people don't mean it like that, obviously, but that's what it kind of feels like sometimes. With Brock Purdy, I think that's kind of unfair for him, is that Brock Purdy kind of gets treated like he isn't in his second year in the NFL. Like he's been in the league for 5 years for some reason. I don't know why that is. I don't think people realize he's in his second year sometimes, because I notice with quarterbacks that are really young, they treat them a little bit differently. Obviously don't have the experience. They're young players. Realistically, there could be a lot of growth for Brock Purdy down the line. I think he could be a sharper, better quarterback. I look at a guy like Jared Goff. I don't see why Brock Purdy couldn't be a guy like that. And you can trash Jared Goff all you want, but Jared Goff, what he's done in Detroit and what he did with the Rams, that was some incredible stuff. Making it to the Super Bowl and having some good teams with the Rams. I know they had talented rosters, but it's the same thing with Brock Purdy. You can win with these guys, and you got a shot at winning the Super Bowl. I know the Rams one was one of the toughest Super Bowls to watch, but the 49ers had a shot in this football game to win versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Shannon Sharpe here.
Oh my gosh.
Because he just said, what did he say, Stephen A? We had the team to win the Super Bowl. You had a 10-point lead. 3 of 12 on third down, 25%. And I told you, Dio, he's going to silence all the critics. All this goes away. I said, Dio, if he doesn't win this game, you'll still have more questions about Brock Purdy. And with that team, no excuses. You had Debo. You had Ayuk. You had C-Mac. You had Trent Williams. You had everything that you needed. Because let me ask you a question. If I put Patrick Mahomes on San Francisco, how many championships do they win, Dio? If I gave him that, don't do this. Whoa. With that roster, if I give Josh Allen that roster, if I give Lamar Jackson, if I give Joe Burrow that roster, because that's what you're saying. You're saying he's...
Now, I have a lot of love for Shannon Sharpe, a big fan of his. obviously in the NFL, and even what he's doing now is incredible. But what's Shannon here is I just don't agree with what he's saying. I think he put a lot of blame on Brock Purdy for the Super Bowl loss, when I think he played a pretty solid game. Was it his A-plus game? Was it the best game they could have played? Of course not. But Brock Purdy played a pretty good game for the standards that are there. I don't think, if you're looking at him to be a top 5 quarterback, which Shannon may have those expectations, I don't know. I just don't think that's fair, in my opinion. He played pretty well for that standard for me, and that's what I looked at him, man. I don't have these ridiculous expectations for Brock Purdy. Personally, I'm not one of those people that hyped him up. I'm not one of those people that tore him down. We felt the San Francisco 49ers is not having the run game that they've had a lot during the season and going away from it for whatever reason. And that really hurt them. Kyle Shanahan, a great play caller, but I don't agree with the way that the play calling was during the Super Bowl. Well, you have guys like George Kittle and Deebo Samuel, who are these amazing playmakers, were basically non-existent. I guess you could put some blame on Brock for not looking for them, because Kyle Shanahan could have been calling plays to get them open, to get them the ball, but it really wasn't there. But it'll be interesting to see how they judge Brock Purdy next year in the national media. But that'll do it for me. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, as it does help out the channel a ton. See you guys later. Peace.